All right, we should be back now. Let me go ahead and let people know where we're at now, because we got some people who are already in the chat before. Yeah, let me go ahead and. All right, hold on one second. Were you in the? Are you in the previous live? Let's see.
No,
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. Let everybody know who was in there before. We got people coming back in. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of technical difficulties. Yeah, we'll start off where you were just talking about the engineer, and I want to get to some of the super chats that came through that were missed. But go ahead, and I'll get to that.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead and get to
No,
the
I gotta pull them
story.
up, but I'll be
Okay.
pulling them up while you doing that.
Well, I mean, David hit me a little bit before 11. I was still at work, and I just actually, it's funny, I just got done listening to it for the
Okay.
first time when he hit me,
Right.
you know. But by the time we were halfway through the station head, I was hitting him up on the phone, like, yeah, I was like, this is it. Like, it's just, it's different. Like I posted on Twitter this morning, a couple hours ago, I was like, this shit is like it's got blueprint vibes, but it's got lost tape bars. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, like it's soulful, but and it's soulful like the blueprint, but it's funky too, Mike. You know what I'm saying? It's soulful and it's funky, but it's got something that's very like, it's almost like it's got like a roots inspired quality too, because some of these drums and kicks they feel really sparse, but they feel really live.
I felt some Ninth Wonder drum vibes on one of the records. We're gonna go to the track list in a second. Let me get to some of these super chats that we didn't
I got
get
the
to
Cuban.
because of the technical issues. But go ahead.
I got the Cuban. I was just letting people know I got the
Oh
Cuban.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's a celebration.
This is a real Cuban. Not that y'all be smoking. This is a real Cuban.
Let's see, man. We had a super chat from Blue Collar Hustler that said it hasn't been 24 hours yet, and two professional reviews have been published, calling it a classic. Nas and Hit Boy did it again, and Taj was right. Let's see, we got another one. Shout out to Vince Smith with the $20 super chat. He says, "Great station here last night, gentlemen. I said KD. I'm sorry, I said KD 10 versus Magic 10 last time, but with this album, got to move it to 15 to 15. Coop got the Gari ready too. There it is. I usually Marquez with the super chat says I usually don't like a part two on a song, but the Speechless part two is something else, man. I agree with that. Speechless part two is a problem. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to the track list. Let me get to some of these other super chats that are actually in this one. That was from the previous live. Let's see. JB was here with the super chat says the album builds momentum from song to song. Album of the year. Um, Smile and Wave with the super chat says, what a grand finale to two wonderful series. Shout out to A2HH. Love seeing the progress since Magic 1. Hit and Nas treated us here. Love the soul samples. Hard to pick a favorite here. Yeah. There's a
Shit.
lot of places to go. Do you want to go to the track list? I think that the intro really brought me in early. Early.
I think this is probably the best intro,
I think
with
so
the
too.
with the exception of Speechless. I think this and Speechless are like neck and neck for best intro of like the 6 album run.
Hmm.
So, so the start off is there.
Right.
Um, and what's really amazing about the album, and this is what I mean, like it's got a lot of different classic vibes to it. It's got a very purple tape-ish vibe, Mike, in how it ascends.
Hmm.
Because it's like the first 4, 5, 6 records are really dope, but it's also like just getting started too. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And so it's masterful, Mike. I was telling the station head viewers last night, and shout out and thanks to everybody who was on the station head.
For
I
sure.
was telling our station head viewers, it's like, no, this is them like painting the frescoes on the Sistine Chapel. This is like This is like beautiful, detailed art. This ain't, you know, this is very, very well crafted. This isn't well orchestrated. This is well crafted. You know what I'm saying? This is like them flexing their real, actual musical genius at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like the vibration between them, like literally, is reaching its zenith at the end. It's like, you
Yeah.
know, when the album is going off, you know what I feel like? I feel like Byron Russell just got pushed off and Mike just hit the shot. That's how the end of this album feels. You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
celebration. It's like they capped everything off, like you said.
Yeah. But and
Three
it's
for
like the
three.
album kind of ends the way that series ends, Mike. It's like Mike goes on a series of, you know, like intangible runs that make you just go like, oh shit. And so like the intangible run kind of starts when like I want to pull up the track list. Make
He's
sure I
showing you
have it.
everything in the toolbox. While you doing that, let me get to some of these super chats. Thumbs up in the chat, everybody, so we can get more and more people in here. Vince Smith with the super chat says, "This album feels like a compilation of great Dilla, Ninth, Kanye, Primo scratches." Oh, for real. You got Frank with the super chat says, "Have Nas and Hit made one bad song in 6 albums? No, that's crazy. Love y'all both and keep amazing show popping. Been down since KD1 review when Mike wasn't rocking the hat yet." Yo, we need to post that. I was watching that review the other day. Let's see. We got another super chat from Charles Manning. He says, Nas alludes to owning his masters now. You think that he's talking about Illmatic It Was Written or his Def Jam run? Coop, any info about that from the Connect? You know, you can't share those things.
The album is brilliant, Mike. Like based on True Event Part 2, Sitting With My Thoughts, Blue Blantley, pretty. I mean, it's everywhere, Mike. The Never Die joint with Lil Wayne. I told you, Mike, that's one of the best features I've ever heard on a Nas album. Like, period.
Wayne did his thing on there, and we were going to talk about that for sure.
Yeah,
Harry,
like all of the Speechless Part 2, Jodeci member.
Yeah.
Japanese soul bar, Mike, all this shit tight.
The storytelling, I mean, he's showing everything in the toolbox. You alluded to Jordan in that last sequence in Game 6 in Utah. You saw everything that made that individual great. And I think that in this finale, we're seeing that with not only Nas, but Hit Boy, but we're seeing it together. The chemistry that these guys have, you're right, they have to be the best rapper producer combo because they're able to bounce off of each other so much and do it in so many different veins. Like a lot of the people who we love that, you know, combine in that way, like Timbaland, Missy, Snoop and Dre, you know, Premier and Guru, I think they master, and I'll say also Havoc and Prodigy, they master their lane, right? And they do a great job of that, and that's their chemistry. But this has been so versatile, it's like it kind of stands alone in that sense in such a short period of time.
How about this? As an MC producer combo, Mike, you'll appreciate this, and we're both wearing Atlanta hats. They have switched it up album to album on some Outkast shit, Mike.
They kind of have.
Every album is great, but it's great for a totally different reason than the reason that the previous album was great. But Mike, this shit right here, the greatest, Mike.
It's the growth.
This is what I mean about like how he's Jordan, like in that last set, like in that last set of plays against Utah, Mike, like he's not the athlete that he once was, but Mike, you can see all the skill and you can see all the will and you can see him go for the kill. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what this is. This is his skill, his will, going for the kill. You know?
I'm going to go to the Cash App real quick, man. Shout out to Duran Ashby with the Cash App. Says, PYG sounds like Primo. It's like, salute, fellas. Tell me why PYG sounds like Primo. Shout out to you, Duran Ashby. And yeah, for the people who want to hit the Cash App and support us directly where YouTube's not cutting in, we appreciate that. For real, for real. It's Cash App according to hip hop. What were you about to say, Coop?
Yeah, you're right. YouTube be taking 30%. They know what they be doing. Yeah, they do. They be hijacking.
Yeah.
Pretty girl, probably getting flagged for this.
Right.
Pretty Young Girl got Moment of Truth vibes, Mike. When I hear that record, you know what his approach sounds like? You'll love this too, Mike. He sounds like Ghost to me. Like, he approached the record the way Ghost would.
Right.
You know what I'm?
Facts.
But it's on some primo shit. You know, it's really really dope. That's what I mean. Is like there's so many moments on this album.
Harry with the
It's
super chat
I'm
says, in my opinion, this is the best produced album since My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Wow. And yes, I know what a massive statement that is.
like I mean. I skipped over all that because we've been having the MC producer combo talk. I was literally like thinking to myself, I was like, is this better than Let the Rhythm Hit Him? Like that's where I was at. Like that's
I
how it was.
think I think I mean I'll first listen and again we'll let it marinate. I think it is from end to end, but it's my opinion.
Like, because if we talking MC producer combo, like you brought up Let the Rhythm Hit Him, I'm like, you brought up the fact that it's like, well, they haven't made no Paid in Full, and it's like, well, that's not happening. But it's like, I think Let the Rhythm Hit Him just happened.
Yeah, it could have. Chris White with the super chat says, "I love this album. I get mad every time the last track plays." Yeah, that's the thing about a great finale like that. It's like you
No tears,
appreciate it, but you want more, but you're not gonna get more.
no tears. I love this feeling,
hmm
Mikey. This shit.
TJ with the super chat says 6 albums and 80 songs in 3 years. Amazing. We never
Don't
really counted the songs like that. 80 songs.
don't tell me it's not top 10
That
after his
sounds
80s.
crazy. 80 songs, and that's not even counting the stuff that probably didn't make it.
How about this, Mike? I can't remember. And who said the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy
I think
shit?
that was Harry that said that.
I mean, Mike, I can't think of a more eclectic, dope array of beats that I've heard maybe since then, Mike. I was trying to think of what album has beats like this that are so diverse because once again, it's like who the fuck making these beats? You would think 3 or 4 or 5 people were making these tracks,
Right.
Mike.
We're so used to in hip hop one guy having one signature sound that I think that it's kind of beyond people that there be one guy with multiple sounds that sound like an array of individuals
He
coming
has whatever
together to make a record. You know what I mean?
he has whatever sound you need.
Yeah.
You know what I'm like? What sound do you need? Because that's what this is. This is what I mean. This is like a supreme flex on both of their parts. Like Nas is like like 98 Mike going 6 for 6, but like hits top 10 Mike. Like I don't care what you say. Like nobody's done this. Like this. I told you this is like listen to like the analogies that I have to make. It's like I have to tell you that it's diverse like Outkast. Nas is approaching records like Ghostface. Hit
Yeah.
Boy is producing great albums at a level that only the RZA did for Wu-Tang Clan, like at their peak. It's like
Right.
I told you this is like Let the Rhythm Hit Him like levels or beyond. It's like I'm telling you it's giving me Blueprint and Lost Tape vibes. Those aren't normal analogies.
No, you're right. CJ Kidd with the super chat says Wayne reminded me of AZ on Illmatic with that verse. Also, pay for a $20 super chat that I have proof for, but it's not popping up. Much love. You know what, CJ Kidd, you cool with us? Go ahead and email that to info@accordingtohiphop.com. We'll get that up for you. Let's see. I think it was another super chat, and I wanted to say something else. Andrew Williams with the super chat says Nas and Hit did it again. Now I can't go as far as to say that it's better than KD3 Stillmatic, but they went all out with a bang. They went out with a bang. Sitting with my thoughts. Fire. I think everybody has a different favorite song on this album. 88 Spencer with the super chat says PYG reminds me of Ghost, Wisdom Body. Um,
Told
man,
you. It's
yeah.
Ghost Body.
Album of the year?
Oh, that's I think it was album of the year. By the time what's the part two? By the time part two is going off, it's like it's album of the year right there, Mike.
Man, I know it's gonna sound redundant for people, but we're not just picking these albums because they're Nas albums, and really the best albums in their calendar year. Like I said last night on the broadcast, man, J. Cole needs to be hitting up Hit Boy, and I would love for a J. Cole and Hit Boy effort, and to see what they could do, and see what could come out of it. Because what Hit Boy is doing right now is amazing, and I would like for it to keep going. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what. First of all, I agree with that sentiment and that statement. I do.
Mm-hmm.
like I told you, Mike, everybody should be calling Hit because Hit's the top 10 producer all time, and that's what when you have a top 10 producer all time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like everybody should be calling him. Like we're talking about J. Cole because we're talking about like we want dream matchups.
Right.
And we want, Hit to work with somebody else who's like all time elite on the mic, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I think and here is part of it too. It's like Nas is the first quote unquote supreme lyricist Hit has worked with extensively. And so he's shown the core hip hop crowd something. But he's kept it really, really diverse. They've made some bangers, they've made some street records, they've made some introspective records. Like creatively and conceptually, they've made some truly remarkable gems.
Mm-hmm.
But their ability to channel different moods and modes and to elevate and to kind of cap it off with this, Mike, I mean, it's special. It really, really is. I mean, I think this album is special. I'm like, it's like, I don't know which song is the standout song, and that usually happens when something is classic.
Yeah,
Like
thumbs up in the chat, and so we can get more people in here. But right on cue. Let's go to the track list then. After we get this super chat from Vince Smith, says, "What's impressive by just went up." Said, "What's impressive by this run is Hit Boy had crafted different sounds for 6 albums for one artist. RZA's run had him with multiple artists, which is less difficult feat to craft different sounds. Yeah, I mean, because you get different energies with different people, and this is one person creating different energies with one other person." 007 says the Magic series is better than the KD series officially. All right, well,
it is. It's kind of like Jordan's Bulls teams. It's like, well, Magic 1 and Magic 3 are probably 2 of the best 3 of the 6. And so that would be why. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Because I think 3 is what's breaking up like Magic 1 and Magic 3 from being 1 and 2. And there are some people that still feel Magic is better than KD3. You know what I mean? On a pure hip-hop level.
There are. A-Train with
Yeah.
the super chat says, "So far I have No Tears on repeat. Can't wait for the video to drop with the drum squad in the background." With
No
a drum
Tears.
squad in the background.
This is what I was talking about, Mike, the perspective on No Tears. It's just like, who else is doing that?
Yeah, man, from a writing standpoint.
From a writer's standpoint. Like, he's not just the MC's MC. He's a writer's writer. He's a thinker. And how about this? Remember when we were just talking about, like MCs have, like, I like how we got the superhero song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our MCs have, like, superhero qualities. You know what I'm saying, Mike?
Right.
Some of them are, like for somebody like big, tangible superhero qualities, it's like you can see him, you can hear him, you can feel him. It's the voice.
Right.
It's the delivery. It's the versatility. It's, like, obvious. It's blaring. Nas's, like, superhero qualities, they're more subtle. It's his perspective. It's his writing skill. It's his execution, actually. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He might be the best executioner on the mic in terms of, like, the ability to think on a high level about something conceptually, and then, like, the actual ability to, like, write it, but not only write it, but deliver it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's something that necessarily pokes itself out because that's something that's mostly done before it ever makes its way to you. You feel me?
Right.
And so it's hard to see. And so what makes this so special is that, no, he's still showing flashes of what his best qualities are this late. And that's what makes this album so great, Mike. He's our greatest storyteller. It's like, well, there's more evidence. You know what I'm saying? He's our most introspective and reflective and nostalgic thinker. It's like, guess what, Mike? There's more evidence of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's like, this is what I mean. It is like he really got into a bag on this album of who he really intangibly is as an artist.
And he's continued to improve. Go ahead.
To make him great, he just did. Like at 50. Like the little things, not the big stuff, like all the little stuff.
He's continued to improve on his model, and he was always leagues ahead of his peers, or a good step ahead of his peers, when rhyming and being a lyricist was really, really important. Now it's a lot less important, and he's continued to improve on that model. So now he's really, really standing alone.
I mean, this we thought when we heard Magic and we heard KD3 that nobody had made an album this great this late. But it's like, I mean, well, somebody has. It's like he has. Like my guy Andrew hit me up, and he was like, "Has anybody else made 2 of the 5 best rap albums in a year?" Like he just did. I was like, yeah. I was like, he just did with KD2 and Magic.
It's insane, man. I
I was
mean,
like, absolutely absurd. I'm
Mo
not
better.
joking. Mike, not joking when I say this. 6 of the best 15 projects that have come out in this decade belong to this combo. Period.
We got to write that out, but you could be right. At least 5.
Right? What else what else is there to write out? Like I don't know about you, Mike, but I haven't heard 10 albums outside of this camp that's better than Magic 2 or KD1. I haven't.
Thumbs up in the
That's
chat.
2020. That says 2020. No.
Mo Better Cut with the super chat says, what do y'all say? I'm sorry, what would y'all say makes the KD trilogy and Magic trilogy different from each other? I think the approach. I think that Magic has more of a theme, whereas KD seems to be more about making complete albums. Whereas Magic started off as, like you said, like a beat tape, and then it evolved into making albums and making albums with a theme.
How about this? King's Disease, the King's Disease series, those are what I would like to call old school releases in a modern day time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's him, once again, updating the formula. Magic is him and Hit exploring their creative and conceptual side. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, Magic is probably important creatively for Hit because it got him, I think that's where he found that boom bap shit that, like, everybody loves to hear from Nas, that, like, Salah Remy did, that Primo did. You know what I'm saying? The Pete Rock, Q-Tip, Large Professor. You know what I'm saying? The original Illmatic team. It's like, I think he got into that bag on that album creatively, and that brought something out of Nas creatively. And that's how the Magic series is kind of going. It's like they're creatively and conceptually going into a bag and making an album's worth of material instead of making the album intentional. King's Disease as an album, 1, 2, and 3 is intentional.
Carlos Jackson with the super chat. Appreciate the love. We got some more people down here with the super chat. I see Carlos Jackson says Nas is like Kobe 8 and 24, 2 classic careers and unprecedented. Let's see. Kyrie with the super chat says not KD 3 or Magic 3, but still great. Second half was better than the first half. JSB and Jodeci member, Nas has made a GOAT case. A great GOAT case. A great GOAT case. Vince Smith with the super chat says, this album is Magic 1 level, rapping with the KD 3 level production. That's a very good way to put it. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, I sent it, guys. I'll go check. And then we'll get that up for you. Let's see. Free with the super chat said, I think Cole would fit better with the Hit twin Boy Wonder. Hit needs to be helicoptered into Kendrick Lamar's studio right now. They linked up yesterday at the party I saw. Let's see. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, also cool that it starts off basically Represent Part 2 or Represent 2023. Oh yeah, I love that because we all big Represent fans over here. AKAs and curtains with the super chat, $20 super chat, just showing love. And for the people who want to show love directly to us, again, the Cash App is $ according to hip hop, and we got the link at the top of the chat here so you can see it. Let's get to the track list here. since we talking about Fever.
He just made four. Mike, he easily just made four of the best 10 albums of his career in the last 3 years, in my opinion. And he was already in the GOAT conversation before this. That's why it's not conversational. It's like Magic 3, KD 3, and KD 2 is easily some of his best stuff. Like like I can place it easily like in the top 10 of his catalog. Like with no problem. I have no problem. Like how about this? I have no problem sliding all of those albums ahead of I Am. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
I put all of those albums ahead of Godson.
I might not put KD1 ahead of Godson, but
No, I
everything
said
else.
KD. I was talking about four. I said KD2,
Oh, you
KD3,
said four.
Magic 1,
Okay.
and
Okay, cool. Yeah. We'll slide those ahead of Godson.
yeah.
Godson has
That's
big high moments, but as an album end to end, I'm not a super fan of it.
so listen to what I'm saying before you go into this. That means for the majority of this series, Mike, he's been operating on Illmatic, It Was Written, Stillmatic, Lost Tape levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to get to CJ
That,
Kidd's super chat. He emailed me. He said, I said that Magic 3 to me was the best of all 6 albums off first listen. To me, the album is there with the moment of truth when comparing them to Gangstar in terms of production and progression as an album went along, especially in a certain area, including Nas's interview on the track that he did like Guru did. At the same time, I'm glad the run is over. Only something you witness once in a lifetime. Coop, am I off with the Moment of Truth tape? Do you think that this is somewhat comparable to Moment of Truth?
he actually took the words out of my mouth. I find this to be Moment of Truth level, Mike. I was trying to find the level, but Moment of Truth did come to mind because I just said in the show the other day, it's like, well, they have a better catalog than Gangstar, although they don't have a Moment of Truth. And then it's like,
Boom.
blah, like Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's verse on here is like Deck's verse on Above the Clouds. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like very much so. It's like, no, Fever isn't You Know My Steez. You Know My Steez might be my favorite rap song, Mike. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's, Mike, it's there. It's like that. That's what I'm saying. And you know how I feel about the Moment of Truth. But it's like, no.
Production wise, though.
Yeah.
Production wise, it's there? Okay. That's
Yeah.
huge. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, I never want to hear Jay/Nas comparisons ever again after this. Ever. Yeah, I think that's fair. Miles7 with the super chat says, this album is already a classic. I'm 2 listens in, and that's all I needed to hear. Nas and Hit took chances and delivered. It's right up there with KD3. Speechless Part 2 is the one on this album.
See, that's what,
Before we get into the track list, our first listen, or first couple listens, what song would you say is the one on this album?
I don't know, Mike. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Andrew Williams with the super chat says, rappers are no longer comparable to Nas. Yeah.
Like, Mike, I'll tell you what, it's like, I love this feeling, no tears, never die, pretty young girl, but like, it just runs, Mike. It's like, oh my God.
All right, well, let's start at TSK. What did you think about that?
It's great, Mike.
Yeah, TSK.
Of the first, how about this? Like, let's break it down in the 5-part increments. Of the first 5 songs, I think Superhero Status is the weakest song. That's absurd.
I was about to ask you about Superhero Status, and yeah, Superhero Status is heavy, but it's in between Fever, TSK, and I love this feeling. I love this feeling. I think Hit Boy really got down on that one.
No Tears might be the best song of the 5, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. It's like, this is crazy. And then you go to the next 6. Mike, listen to these next 5 songs. Never Die with Lil Wayne, Pretty Young Girl, Based on True Events Part 2, Sitting With My Thoughts.
Yeah, that's a heavy lineup right there.
That's what I mean. It's like album of the year. Like it's over right there, Mike.
Yeah, I think with that section, that may put it over KD3. That section may put it over KD3.
That's what I'm saying, Mike. It's like the run on here is different. It's different. Ooh. Mike, there's a section of like of Stillmatic, I feel like, where he goes on a run. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
it's like, like there's the intro, there's Ether, Got Yourself a Gun, and Smoking. But it
Right.
felt like from You're the Man all the way to the Flyest with AZ, it felt like he went on a run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
This album feels like that. Like the run. It's like, oh no, it's like the stuff is great early on, but then there's like this run of songs where you're like, oh, this nigga the best.
Harry with the super chat says Nas's catalog is so amazing that he sampled his own record on Fever. How many other rappers sample themselves on a track? Forget about it. New York is happy this
Like,
morning, man. Hip hop is happy. It's an amazing morning.
Mike, the closing songs, Blue Bentley, Jodeci member,
Yeah,
Speechless Part 2, Japanese Soul Bar is crazy.
it
One
is.
1-800 Nas and hit, like, no, this shit is great. And you, how about this? Like, it felt like he doesn't end albums like this. He doesn't talk like this at the end of albums.
Yeah, it felt very finale period. It kind of put me in the mind of the end of the Black album, with Jay's kind of really making it official because he actually said he was going to retire after it. So yeah, just the talk at the end of it felt like, okay, y'all ain't gonna see me for a while. And you know what? He earned that. To put out this level of output in such a short span of time at this stage in his career, yeah, he could go chill out for a very long time if he wants.
Mike, I want people to think about this. An album that has Nas's Life and New York State of Mind Part 2 on it and Hate Me Now may not end up in his top 10 album catalog, Mike.
Yeah, I don't think it does, to be honest with you.
Think about that.
Joe Young with the super chat says, "What's up, A2HH? I'm glad you covered Magic 3. Great sound for music, timeless. He is the best. Magic 3 is just like KD3. Put the high lyrics with the master album. Love it." Andrew Williams with the super chat says, "I love sitting with my thoughts. That's my favorite." Man, I was thinking even when we were,
Go around. Plenty of stuff to go around.
yeah, I
What
was
would
thinking when the station head stuff was going on, right? Like, I was thinking, which of these records, if you and I had a radio show, would we, be playing? And like, what would our sets and mixes and all that look like with current music? I think there's enough to go around. It's just not, not the
Mike,
right people in place who are actually, presenting music to the public, if you will.
Mike, Pretty Young Girl and Blue Bentley are singles.
Yeah. E with the super chat says Nas has solidified himself as the GOAT. This 3-year, 6-album run is unrivaled, based on true events part 3. Right. Mall 7 with the super chat says, I love the feeling it's top 3 on this album. Yeah, that song really sticks out to me. I don't know if it's because it comes so early, but it sticks out. Dane with the super chat says, "Are any of these 6 albums in your top 5 lyrical performance? In his top 5 lyrical performances, Magic.
Yes.
Um,
Magic's a definite.
yeah,
Like, it's best. See, that's what I'm saying.
and this one could possibly get in there too.
Yeah, this could end up being the 5th one, I think, because it's like, well, Illmatic, it was written.
Yeah,
Magic,
Lost Tapes.
Lost Tapes, Stillmatic.
Oh
Stillmatic,
yeah.
what goes around. That's
Now,
arguably
Stillmatic's mic performance is insane.
it is. What goes around alone is like, like price of admission type of like stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DFW Herbie with the super chat says, quick side note, Diddy's album is fire. I bet it is. I've been meaning to listen to that, but I bet it is. Diddy does come with quality. I will give him that.
He made one great album, Mike.
I like the Diddy Dirty Money shit. That shit's crazy.
What the was that like Runaway Train in Paris? Is that what you
Yeah. Yeah, Last Train to Paris.
Last Train to Paris? No, that was dope. I ain't gonna
Last
lie.
Train to Paris is tight.
It was.
Charles
Production was fire.
Charles Manning with the super chat says, it's classic when you give when when it gives you the old hip hop feeling, you just don't have that feeling about music anymore. They delivered that. Yeah, when you think that you can no longer get that feeling, you get a record like this. It's possible. I mean, it takes a lot, and it takes people really digging in and really putting in that work to get that. But it's actually possible. I think what's great about them and what gives you that feeling is the fact that they're not chasing old things. And I think that's what happens a lot of the times with a lot of our veterans and our classic artists. When they want to give you that feeling, they try to chase that time period, and you can never get those things back. Like, I'll never forget when Method Man and Busta Rhymes on the What's Happening video, which was a dope song. They tried to go recreate Bring the Pains video, and it's like, nah, man, this doesn't work like this anymore. 10 years later, it's like, you guys are different now. It's what it is. Like, I appreciate the attempt, but it's never gonna be the same. So yeah, the fact that they don't chase that, I think really helps to give that feeling. Coop, you went out for a second. All right, you back. Born King with the super chat says, man, that $500,000 story was lyrically outstanding and melancholy. Yeah, the $500,000 story was great. And the super chats just keep coming in. We got Jay Short in the building. Jay Short with the super chat says Blue Bentley might not be the best beat Nas has rapped on since. Might be the best beat that Nas has rapped on since the 90s. That's a banger.
Blue Bentley going, Mike. Like, he got some stuff on him.
Oh, we got another Cash App too. Shout out to Jarrell Perry with the Cash App. Says, for this album is an instant classic. And yeah, appreciate y'all getting in the Cash App too, you know. $ according to hip hop. Yeah. I think that everybody's saying it's a classic. I don't think that's everyone being prisoner of the moment. We heard it last night. We heard the reactions last night. We were able to go on diatribes about the individual songs that we were hearing. Do you think, because I think this is the conversation that was put forth last night, 007 feels like this album's better than Stillmatic. Is that going too far? We need more time for that? Or is that prisoner of the moment stuff? Or how do you feel about that?
As a body of work, I'll tell you right now, the production job right here is better than the production job on Stillmatic.
Well, no, now that's for sure.
Lyrically, I find it to be maybe on par, but here's what I'll tell you is that's what I'm saying. It's like, this album is a better play in the end than Stillmatic. It's better produced than Stillmatic. And even for all the GOAT talk that's on here, Mike, like what goes around is one of those like feather in the cap moments where it's like, after you've made a brilliant record, to have a record like that laying around at the back end of your album that's really like one of your best fucking songs, you know?
Yeah.
And this album doesn't have a what goes around where you're like, oh my God. I think maybe Based on True Events Part 2 gives some of that vibe off. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not what goes around. You know what I'm saying, Mike? But like seriously, it's like, outside of I Gave You Power and Take It in Blood, like what goes around might be his best mic performance. And so it's like one of those separating factors. But the fact that we're like having a conversation about if this album is better than Stillmatic or not should tell you all you really need to know about how truly brilliant this album is.
I think what some people will pull out is to say that, you know, Braveheart Party is on Stillmatic.
Yeah, they're right.
Yeah. And we can't forget that because it's on there. CJ Kid with a super chat says, not going to lie, I was supposed to pay attention to a mandatory meeting on my laptop at work, but this show is so great. Most of my ear time went to this. Well, we appreciate that, man. Don't get fired out there. Maul with the super chat says, Nas and Hit need a greatest hits compilation now. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can put that together on our end from a playlist standpoint. But yeah, they should do an official one. Andre with the super chat says, "Thank you A2HH for covering this run properly in the last years. Big part of the excitement was listening to your podcast, and I am sure also a big part of Nas and Hit Boy's drive for keeping momentum." Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate you guys contributing as well. It's been a pleasure.
It has. Truly.
For sure. Web Visibility with the super chat says, "Mike, you spoke previously about Get Light not getting radio love. Do you think that there's a single on here on this album that the radio will have to acknowledge? Blue Bentley, Never Die. Well, the one that I thought off first listen was going to be a Pretty Young Girl, actually."
Mike, I think Pretty Young Girl and Blue Bentley are better than Get Light. That's part of why I think this album's better than KD3. It's like moments like that.
I think Blue Bentley's a banger.
It is. Like, how about this? Speechless Part 2 is better than Reminisce. You know what I'm saying?
Can't lie, man. Speechless Part 2 is heavy. I mean, off top of my head, I think it's one of the stronger moments on the album.
Right. Based on True Events is better than the Serious Interlude. You know what I'm saying? Based on True Events Part 2 is better than Beef. It is.
Is he better on here than he was on KD3?
He's more of who he is on here is what I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So if the core version of him is the best version of him, because I think it's the introspective, reflective person that we're drawn to initially as a writer, if that's more of who he is than this, because this is more of who he actually is, Mike. Like, I hear, like, it's crazy. Like, just all you really got to do is look at the cover. It's like, no, it's him at 50. But that's what I'm saying. It's just like, it's the same guy that you're hearing on New York State of Mind talking about playing grants with the CeeLo champs. It's the same guy that's saying he represents the thinker.
Mm-hmm.
The same guy saying he dropped out of Cooley High. You know what I'm saying? It's the same guy that's saying, you couldn't catch him in the streets without a ton of reefer. It's like Malcolm X. Like that guy still exists.
Yeah.
It's just a 50-year-old version of it, and this is that, and that's what's so special about it is his ability to remain that person after all this time and to be able to channel it and go back to it and write in detail, Mike. Write in detail on it. It was written Stillmatic level.
Facts. Jay Short with the super chat says, "This era is now the Magic era, not the KD era." They said, "Oh, is this era now the Magic era and not the KD era?"
I mean, I think it's the Nas and Hit era, Mike.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, they're the greatest.
Because we got to acknowledge both of them, honestly, man. Like, because
it's the Nas and Hit era. Because Mike, they are the greatest MC and producer combo of all time. This shit is not a discussion after yesterday.
Anthony with the super chat says, "The leftover tracks from this run could possibly be a Lost Tapes 3. Incredible material." Yeah, I think that could definitely be an easy Lost Tapes 3, the KD and Magic sessions.
Like, Mike, I'm sorry, like, Gangstar don't have 4 albums like this, Mike. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's leave Magic 2 and KD 1 on the table for now, since those seems to be the ones that get the least favorable reviews, and they still get favorable reviews.
Right.
But let's off the table. It's like, no, Mike, like, there's not an MC or producer combo that got KD 2, 3, Magic 1, and 3. Like, no.
KC1 with the super chat says, "Y'all need to do a versus KD series versus Magic series." I mean, I think that off the top of my head, I believe the Magic series may have it, because I think that the quote unquote weakest moment in the Magic series is Magic 2, and I think that's a quality album too. I think we're understating Magic 2 a lot.
Well, how about this? Let's look at it. They made 80 songs. I'd say on Magic 2, maybe 3 of the best 10 are on Magic 2, though.
That's insane.
Like, slow it down, and Pistols are top 10 songs, I would think, in this run, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or borderline. Yeah. Like, for me, Slow It Down is easy, and it's about where Pistols would fall. And that's Magic 2. That's what's special about it. It's like KD 2 might have 2 of the 5 best songs in the entire run on it, and nobody in store run, but it might be the 4th best album in this run. It's crazy.
Jay Short with the super chat says, "I think that this is what he wanted Streets Disciple to be, especially lyrically. Except the time It was at the time it wasn't executed correctly. Joe Young with the super chat says the science Nas brings burns rappers out with these lyrics so great. The pressure is on Hove, can't touch this. He sets the bar high and delivers great. Oh, man. Mr. J Davis with the super chat says Magic Trilogy equals Nas lyrically. KD Trilogy equals hit production. I don't know, man. Hit really came with the production on this one, too. And on Magic, too. And on the first one, actually. It's just all about what you're listening for, I guess.
I told Hit on Twitter this morning that this is the best thing that he's ever produced. And I sincerely mean that.
Yeah.
But the question is when is the last time somebody produced an album in the sounded this good beat-wise, Mike? Because this album, production-wise and beat-wise.
Yeah. The sequence and everything. The creativity. I mean, I don't know what else to say, man.
No, Mike, these beats fire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like people like, you know what I mean? Oh, I don't like Hit's beats ain't like that. Yeah, they are, nigga. Like, you know?
I don't know what else to say, man. I mean, this is the album to beat. We are already in September. And, you know, there's a lot of people that are coming out with stuff. I keep seeing people in the chat saying that Diddy's album is fire. So I see we got the Bad Boy Street team in the chat. I'm going to check it out, though. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm sure it's quality. Just everything else that's coming down the pipeline, I don't know. This one might stand. And if that stands, then we have 2020 being, that was Pray for Paris. 2021, that ended up being Magic when KD2 was actually number 2. 2022, that ended up being KD3. And now it's looking like 2023, Magic 3. What does that look like?
Mike, that looks like that's what I'm saying. This is a Nas and Hit era type of thing because, I mean, Mike, I'm going to be honest with you. Outside of Pray for Paris and Alfredo, like, nothing's really coming to mind, like, that's even, like, comparable to their high-end work to me. You know what I'm saying?
From a king to a god.
How about this? I think From a King to a God is better than King's Disease 1 and Magic 2, but not better than the other 4. I don't.
Ma with the super chat says, there's no way that people can honestly say that these beats aren't great on Magic 3. They just had their minds made up before they even heard it. Ridiculous. James Smith with the super chat says, better verse, Wayne or Nas?
I think Nas had the better lyrical verse. I think Wayne had the better delivery. And I said that on the station head last night. It's like, the pocket that Wayne got in flow-wise was really, really special. And how about this? They both did what makes them great. It's like Nas provided like that lyrical rhyme and like story and like well thought out introspective rhyme that's put together and provided a great lead into Wayne. And Wayne went berserk with his flow.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you said, like Wayne did what everybody loves him for. Like Wayne did the Millie Wayne, where he just spazzed out on the record.
Wayne did his GOAT talk because he knew he was rapping with Nas. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that for whoever is a fan of either artist, they're gonna pick that artist in this setting because, like you said, they both did what they do well.
Yes, but here's what I'll tell you. Okay, so Mike, this is what I'm talking about though. It's like, how about this? Not a lot of top tier, all time great MCs can rival Nas on a record, and so Wayne is as nice as like a lot of his contemporaries from his generation. Like for people that think that Wayne's not like that, like this should be one of those records. It's like, well, stop talking like that because he can go toe to toe with the GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
Well, I know we're not gonna be here too long, but I guess, man, you want to pick maybe the top 5 on this album before we get up?
It's going to be hard to do.
Clayton is asleep with the $20 super chat showing love. He said, those last 4 fed my old soul. Love the mix of sound going on here. Speechless Part 2 is my favorite. Instrumental, based on a true story, Part 1 is my favorite track. Outro song is tough. Did y'all peep that KD slash Magic Rubik's Cube? Fire. Yeah,
Mike, I
definitely.
think based on True Events Part 2,
Mm-hmm.
Sitting with My Thoughts, Speechless Part 2. Oh, Mike, I mean, it's hard. No Tears. I love Japanese Soul Bar. I don't know, Mike. It's the shit the classics are made of. I don't know. I love this feeling. It's dope. Fever, Mike. Fever's pretty big. I
Fever
don't know.
is important because it starts it off. Um,
Mike, Fever.
I'm
I might take Fever.
I love this feeling. I would say based on True Events Part Two, Speechless Part Two. I think No Tears because where he took it conceptually,
Yeah. No
and
Tears.
um, and I might say Fever or Jodeci Member. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to listen some more.
It's crazy. The beats on here are crazy though. Hit went
There.
wild like Blue Bentley. They're right to beat the blue. Mike, when is the
Yeah.
last time a producer produced an album this well from end to end? That's what I'm saying. Like Daytona.
KD3.
Right. Right, Mike.
DFW Herbie with the super chat says drill music in Zion was fire. Yeah, it was.
It's not
Uh,
better than this.
Mall7 with the super chat says I'm not a Wayne fan at all, but his rhyme scheme and flow he used was definitely good. Got to give him credit.
Oh, it was top tier.
Yeah,
Top
he
tier.
stepped up to the moment. Um,
Well, he's a top 10 to 15 MC all time. So it's like, no, he did what top 10, you know what I mean? He did what he was supposed to do in my estimation. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's what he's capable of.
yeah, I like their collaboration actually.
I do. It was great. It
Yeah,
was great. It is one of the, like, in this series, it's the second best feature. But in terms of like Nas's like catalog, it's like I think the Lauren feature might be the second best feature that he's had on an album outside of the AZ feature, and so this might be like third or fourth, depending on how you feel about. He doesn't do a lot of like features like Black Republican. You know what I'm saying with Jay?
right.
It's like I like this Wayne record better.
You like the Wayne record better than Black Republican?
I do. It just feels better to me. You know what I'm saying?
I'll still go with Black Republican, but I do think that both of the performances on here are a lot more even and I guess feel like they have a little bit more chemistry than the Black Republican.
This feels better to me. I'm just telling you the level that the song operates on. It's
Yeah.
operating. How about this? Even if it's not better than Black Republican, it's operating on the Black Republican like level.
It's a conversation. Solutions with the super chat says, I am a Nas fan, but I can bet that he made Magic 2 a little low to make Magic 3 feel really high. You think there's anything to that?
No,
I do think that there's something to what you said previously, though. I think that when they were recording, they had certain songs they probably were setting to the side for the finale
mm-hmm.
because they knew that you know what we're gonna close big.
Right. It's Mortal Kombat. Finish him. It's like they
Yeah,
just because how about this? Some of this stuff to me, like some of this stuff gave off like a little tail end of KD3 vibes. Like some of the production, it's like I think he took some couple of beats from last year
hmm
and just he reworked them or had a couple in the chamber. But like beat wise, how about this? They took all the soulful funky shit and said, "Let's wait till the end."
right. CJ
Mm-hmm.
Kid with the super chat says, I would say that Wayne was more crumb snatcher than Dak with his verse just amazing.
Oh, you mean make them pay?
hmm
Okay,
Mile
I feel
7
you.
with the super chat
But
says Jodeci member was stupid good. It had to be after naming the record. I'm sorry, it had to be after naming the record after a legendary group. LOL.
absolutely.
When I saw that title, I didn't know what to really think. I knew there was a meme going around talking about the fifth member of Jodeci was like cocaine or something like that. So I guess when I saw that title, I didn't know if they were gonna go that direction because they really are in tune with with the internet world, and you could tell that with the music that they're making is super current. So I didn't know what direction the song was gonna go, but yeah, I was really pleased with the direction. You know how I feel about Jodeci.
You know how I feel about Jodeci.
Incredible group, man. Man, like I said, we ain't gonna be here too long. We're really gonna do a full show on this Monday. We just wanted to kind of check in with the people real quick. But
Yeah,
you got any
I'll have.
closing thoughts before we get up out of here?
No, I'm gonna have full notes on Monday. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I have the whole thing Monday, but it's a masterful piece of work. How about this? If I told you KD3 was a top 50-ish album, and I'm telling you this is better than KD3, that's what I mean. Is it's like, oh no, like this is better than lot of stuff.
Right.
A lot of stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, I
Like,
wanna go ahead.
no, I can't front. It feels like yeah, I need to go listen to Moment of Truth. How about
Yeah,
that?
we're gonna go really do a deep dive this weekend so we can really come back Monday with a full
Like,
analysis and a full show. But we want
I
to
need to
get a
go.
reaction here.
I need to go listen to the Moment of Truth. It's Dark and Hell is Hot, The Blueprint, like those albums. You know what I'm saying? I need to go listen to those
And
albums
see where
because
it fares. Yeah. Jay Short with
yeah,
Super Chat says, you said something real a few weeks ago, Coop. Nas needed this run to get the stadium flow. I didn't realize that he needed this run till I heard these albums. Mr. J. Davis with the Super Chat says, appreciate y'all giving us Classic Friday episodes to celebrate this moment. Salute. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? We had to pop up and do this special appearance. Like I said, man, I love us playing music and all of that, and I think that we're really going to build ourselves to not only commentating on the music, but playing the music as well. And we appreciate y'all really riding with us throughout not only this ride, but just hip hop in the 2020s, man, and just being able to break it down in that way. And we appreciate the support and the dialogue. Like I said, man, hit that Cash App $ according to hip hop so we can continue on to do this and take this to the next level as independent hip hop media. Because once we start playing music and stuff like that, Coop, man, like it's over. Like I mean, I think a radio show or however it goes, where we're able to actually play the music, break down the music. I mean, I think that's the next level, to be honest, in my opinion. Because we always talk about, people not getting play, and we can solve that with us and the
yeah,
people.
this album is great, man.
Right. Gonna be listening to it a lot this weekend for sure, man.
How about this? This is one of those albums that I'm excited about the notes that I'm about to take.
Okay.
And I will tell you this. This is what I mean about it's more intricately written, Mike. I mean, I didn't have to take notes for Magic 2. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's more of a theme and a vibe, and I could see the theme and the vibe very easily. So I could just kind of notate it in my mind. Like, this is one of those albums because of he is saying so many things on record from song to song that are important and introspective and like lyrically sharp that it's like, no, I need to take notes.
All right, well, everybody enjoy the rest of their Friday. Go listen to Magic 3. I'm about to go listen to this Puffy album as well. And yeah, we'll have a full show Monday at noon where we're really going to break this whole thing down. Like and
Shout out
subscribe.
people.
Oh, we got one more super chat before we get out of here. I want to put respect on people's money. Raphael says, fellas, I've been questioning my sanity since I listened to Magic 3. Where's Hit Boy and Nas pulling this from? I just don't understand. They're otherworldly. That's all we need to know. And shout out to them.